Okay, so because this is an active cavern, the formations are still growing, and for that reason, we ask you not to touch anything because we've got oils and salt in our skin that can discolor the formations and make them stop growing. Now there is one area you will be allowed to touch the walls as much as you want, and I'll let you know when we get there, so if you're curious about how things feel, you'll get a chance, okay? All right, looks like we're good. If you would go on down, please, till you get to an orange traffic cone. It'll be pushed over to the right near the wall. It's not too far ahead. Okay. Try to walk to your head right away. Okay, everyone. Now, one of the first things you might have noticed on your way in is that it is pretty chilly in here. It does stay 52 degrees year-round inside, no matter what the temperature is on the outside. Okay, it is also drippy in here. You will most likely get dripped on today, maybe multiple times. So I just want to let you know that the water that drips down is filtered from the mountains. It is actually pure enough to drink, so it won't hurt you a bit. It just might make you a little wet. We used to have some trout that were swimming in here that we could see in the front part of the cavern. There's not any here right now, but what happened is when Helene came back in September, it did flood the cavern all the way up to the ceilings. It left behind a lot of mud and debris that had to be shoveled and cleaned out, and I think it flushed the fish out. Now we will get more eventually because the trout are able to swim in here from that stream outside, that is outside the door area. And that is how the cavern was discovered. Back in 1822, there were a couple fishermen outside, and they noticed that some fish were swimming in and out of the mountain. Of course, they got curious, so they looked around. They found a small opening where the door is at today, and when they came through, this is what they discovered. Okay, so scoot up as much as you can. The water is really loud here, so I'll just try to be louder. Okay, now while we're standing here, just take a look around you at the gray rock that is surrounding us. Okay, this gray rock that is all around us is called Shady Dolomite. Okay, that is a porous limestone, and that is the mother rock of the mountain. It makes up about 85% of it. Okay, now limestone is a soft type of rock than others. It can be eroded by water. Now most things in the gift shop are made of ebonics, but it does not come from in here because this cavern is protected by federal laws. Nothing can be mined or taken out of it. It's never been mined in here. Okay, watch your head when you come through. Now the formations in here are green because there is some copper in this area of the cavern, and the water picks up the copper and turns them green. We will be passing through this room, so if you can't see very good, you'll get a good look as you come through. Now this one next to me is a big stalactite, and it is called the guess what formation, just because it looks like different things to different people. Okay, just depends on your imagination. Some people see a pickle, a cactus. A lot of people see a hand, a squid, all sorts of things. Okay, now you'll notice the drip, and that's how they grow. Okay, that water drips down, leaves a tiny bit of mineral at the bottom, and if we don't touch it or bother it, that will keep growing. But geologists say it takes about 120 years to make only 1 cubic inch. Okay, so it's very slow, and that's under ideal conditions. Now, I'm going to try not to get my light in anybody's eyes, but that big green one over there, that is our oldest and largest formation, called the frozen Niagara, as it looks like a big waterfall. You'll get wet when you go by, but scientists think that one is about 6 million years old. Okay, so it's been forming a very long time in here. Be careful not to bump it when you go by. This is our tallest room. It's called the Cathedral Room, and it is 23 feet high from the floor up to the ceiling. you can see a lot more of our upper level up here. Okay, if you look straight up, you'll see some big stalactites hanging down. Okay, now if anybody's not sure about which is a stalactite or a stalagmite, the stalactites are the ones that grow down from the ceiling like those. And a good way to remember that is they hold on tight to the ceiling. Okay, stalagmites are the opposite. They grow upward and they might one day reach the ceiling. Now in some places they will meet and grow together, and then you start getting pillars and columns. Head in the middle, and those are the wings out to the side. So it looks like a bat that is flying. You'll notice it's also dripping, and this is a good example of a dripstone formation. Okay, what happens is when the water comes through the mountain, it picks up a lot of minerals. Okay, we're looking at one last thing on our way out. This high shelf with the water all the way across. This is called a bedrock table, and this is where the main level and the stream bed would have been long ago, like millions of years ago. Okay, this is bedrock that holds it up. And bedrock is much, much harder than limestone. And so when the limestone was eroded down by the water over the years, that stayed up there. Okay, so that used to be the main level. This does usually stay full of water from the dripping, but the drippiness in here does depend on the weather outside. A couple of weeks ago, believe it or not, it was actually more drippy because we've been having some rain. If we have a dry spell, it will get less drippy. If we have an extended drought, it will actually dry up over time. It will get less and less drippy till it stops, and that will dry up. So it does depend on the weather.